Hey Buns, so today I wanted to do a bit of a personal video where I talk about my hopes and fears for patch 5.3. My previous video was a recap of all of the information we got about this upcoming patch in the live letter. It was just very information based. I was trying to get out everything that we had learned. But today I just wanted to go into stuff that I personally am very excited about and stuff I'm worried about without being spoilery. Probably my biggest hope and fear is concerning the Realm Reborn revamp, because like for me, I just feel like there's so much riding on it. For the longest time I have said, you know, I genuinely feel like Final Fantasy XIV is the best MMO on the market. And for so long I have felt like because of the Realm Reborn grind being just too much for a lot of new players to want to put up with, it's been a game standing in its own way. I feel like Realm Reborn has been the roadblock standing in the way of Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm sure many people who are watching, like, you might have tried to get someone into the game and then they just couldn't get past Realm Reborn. I've talked to many people who've had that experience, and so like for me, I feel like this revamp has a lot riding on it, because if they get it right, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be sorely needed changes to streamline the whole experience. And actually, I think that the free trial now being expanded to include Heavensward will go a long way towards alleviating this problem of people dropping off in Realm Reborn. So on top of the revamp making Realm Reborn experience better, we're also going to have the Heavensward. So like if people know they're still going to be able to keep playing for free through Heavensward, they might have more of a desire to keep going, even if the Realm Reborn revamp doesn't go super well. But I'm just like, I really hope it goes well, and all I can say is I'm holding my breath on that. As for the Unreal Trials, it seems awesome. So instead of you doing a fight like Shiva Extreme unsynced, which is how it's normally done, you click the unsync button, you go into the fight, and you delete the boss. You just melt the boss in your level 80 gear and armor, and the boss, like, it's just not scaled up to you, so it's like you can solo it. That's normally how those Realm Reborn Extreme Trials are done nowadays. You can sync yourself down, but it sucks because you don't have all of your buttons. It's not the same as experiencing like a current extreme trial fight. And so Unreal is going to fix that problem. They're going to sync the boss up to level 80 to have level 80 HP and level 80 damage output. And it's going to be like a real extreme trial experience. So I'm excited about that because I started playing the game in Heavensward. And so I never got to experience these Realm Reborn trials the way that they were meant to be. And so it seems like it could be a good time. The thing that I've been worried about is the difficulty. And this might sound crazy, but I hoped that it would be very difficult. Like, just so that it could be something I could prog for a little while. But it will probably be more on the level of most extreme trials, so fairly accessible. And that's okay too. I mean, it's always good to have more accessible rating type content to help new players, dip their feet into high-end content. So we will see. We will see just how hard they decide to make it. My hope for the Unreal system is that they will add this functionality to other parts of the game, like add it to dungeons, Unreal dungeons, add it to raids, like Unreal Alexander would be amazing. I would love to have something like an Unreal Dungeon Roulette where all of the dungeons sync up to you or much harder, and it would include every dungeon in the game. Like, that would be amazing, but that also sounds like a lot of work and probably not something that would happen. But even like a couple of Unreal dungeons, maybe like that could function a little bit like Mythic Plus. Oh man, I would love that. Besides, the Unreal trial fight is looking like something I'm probably going to be doing a lot of. I'm also going to be doing a lot of the Near raid, most likely. I currently do a lot of Copied Factory already, and it's something I enjoy doing a lot. So I'm looking forward to the Puppets Bunker, the new Near raid we'll get. But as far as my worries, my fears, I did not really love the story for Copied Factory because it was so sparse. Like, we did not get a lot of information about what was going on at all, and it seemed like the moment that we were about to get some information, something happened, which I can't say because I'm not going to be spoilery, and then we did not get that information. And I felt like I felt like I loved the mechanics of the raid itself. Like, the experience of the raid itself is fantastic, but the story left me wanting more, and I figured, oh, well, this is just the first part. So probably the next part will have more story in it. That would make sense. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping for the Puppets Bunker, is that we will get better explanation of why things are happening, what is going on. I'm not expecting like a lot of story, but I'm expecting something substantial, and hopefully something more in the style of Nier. In a JP interview that Yoshida gave earlier this month, we found out that there will be more emphasis on the Nier elements for this second part of the Raid series, and that the entirety of this continuation will give a feeling of, isn't this just Nier Automata? Which is fantastic to hear. I felt like the two dwarves that you interact with in the quest line to unlock it, and, you know, within the raid itself for Copied Factory, I felt like their tone was sort of clashing with the vibe of Nier, and I'm curious to see what they plan to do with that. If you've played Nier, it's not like Hildebrand style comedy and stuff. Like, I would like to see this story be more fitting to Nier in terms of tone, more thoughtful, just give me something to think about, you know. But I think that the gear that Yoshida showed us in the live letter, I think that is the job specific. I don't think that is going to be what is in a glamour coffer. We might not even have a glamour coffer at all, though I certainly would love to have the commander's outfit. That would be... A brief note on the job adjustments. If you are coming from WoW, you probably get really afraid anytime you hear about nerfs and buffs happening to jobs. And I just kind of wanted to briefly address it for those people who might be watching. Like, look, yes, Monk is going to get some big adjustments to Grease Lightning coming in 5.4. Bard is going to get a damage buff. Summoner, a tiny nerf to Try Disaster. Astrologian getting some MP costs reduced. These are kind of minor changes. And Square Enix is pretty good about making appropriate incremental adjustments that maintain the job balance and not hitting it with a big sledgehammer that makes some jobs completely unviable, like in WoW. Like, I know that happens a lot in other MMOs. And so I just wanted to tell people that might have heard about the buffs and nerfs coming to your job. You really shouldn't worry too much. Like, I'm not worried. I think it's going to be fine. As for the crafting and gathering stuff, I'm not really big into them, even though I do have all my crafters and gatherers at 80. I mostly did that for the job stories, which were really enjoyable to go through. But I also like the Ishgard restoration side quests. Like, again, like I'm in it for the story. I play this game for the story, mostly. I'm happy to hear about the dwarf crafting beast tribe seeming to have a very interesting story already, because Yoshida said that, like, there is a tragedy happening in Kalusha that's forcing the dwarves to leave and go set up in Lakeland instead. Like, already it's shaping up to be a pretty insane story, and so I'm looking forward to it, and also seeing what the mount is going to be. Maybe it will be that tank after all that they showed us. Because there was a little schematic of it in the dwarf village that they showed us during a live letter. Of course, on the story side of things, I am obviously terrified of losing a major story character. Or worse, like having to actually fight that person. They said, yeah, this new trial is mysterious. It will be hard for us to guess who the enemy will be. And I feel like, based on that information, it seems like it would be more likely for it to be a friend or someone close to us than just some random enemy. But who knows? Honestly, I have many fears surrounding the story, and not a lot of hope that everyone I care about in the story will make it out alive. Yes, it's upsetting on an emotional level, but my hope is that even if it is sad, even if it is devastating, that it will be compelling. It will leave a mark on me. It will live up to that very high standard of quality that Shadowbringers has delivered on patch after patch. I'm sure it will. Like, I'm feeling they haven't let me down yet in this expansion so far. So yeah, if it's a compelling story, I will be happy. I would say probably my biggest fear concern with 5.3 is the fact that the thing that I have been most excited about being advertised along with the 5.3 content is Basra Citadel, like the Basra Southern Front. This is amazing, in-depth, like there's a lot of content there, and it is not going to be out till a month and a half after 5.3 drops. It's coming in 5.35. So I'm kind of trying to cool my jets about the Basra stuff a little bit. Like I'm really excited, but it feels like a century away. I'm worried that I will blast through all of the new patch content in like a week or two and then sit on my buns waiting a month and a half for Basra. Like I know we've been waiting a while for this patch, and I feel like it's not very cool to complain about the delay because, I mean, it's been actually remarkable that they have had such a small delay. And so I don't think it's right to complain about the delay that was caused because of the pandemic. But at the same time, it would be awesome if patch 5.3 has enough in it to sustain us and just keep us engaged and excited as we wait another month and a half for Basra. That's why I was kind of hoping that Shiva Unreal would be difficult enough that I could prog it for a while, but I feel like that is unlikely. Instead, maybe it could be an easier fight and maybe just has some rare rewards like that could be enough to sustain us until 5.35. And I'm sure I'll be doing a lot of the near raid as well. We do have yokai, so there is that. I will have that to keep me busy. And the Moonfire Fair, we just got new info on that today, and it looks amazing. It is going to start one day after 5.3 drops, and the glamour is top tier. It is so good. The top, it's all dyeable, and it's going to be easily mixed and matched with lots of different kinds of glamours. I'm very happy about it. We also get a new dance emo, just like a hula dance, and a balloon housing item, which is ugly and I don't care about, but the rest of it is awesome. I'm very, very happy. Only hope that my Viera bunny ears can poke through the flower hat, but seems unlikely. Well, buns, that's really all for me today. I just kind of wanted to have a more personal video about all this stuff that I've been thinking about, all the stuff that's been in my head about this upcoming patch. And I would love to hear from you. Like, what are you most excited about in 5.3? Is there anything that you're worried about? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your fellow warriors of darkness. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.